Hey guys, it's FandomsxListener here, back again with another FandomsxListener video. I am probably whispering as much as I can. Let me take a sip of my coffee real quick. Oh my god, that's better. Because me and my mom, so like I told you, my mom gave me a jump scare. She gave me a visit. We are staying at an apartment right now, and her room is across mine, right next to mine, and I'm surprised she didn't wake up when I was making my coffee, because we have a coffee machine in the apartment. It's like a rental apartment for a little bit, and we'll be staying here till Friday. Today I bring you Leo, 2012 Leo, ex-listener date, because I don't think I did a date on 2012 Leo. I think the only thing I did was, the Christmas event thing, and I stopped uploading 2012. Well, I hope you guys enjoy my Instagram Discord link server, SoundCloud, and songs I use will be in the description below. And I'm so sorry for the people that were on Discord, that they went through those things in the main chat and they saw me kind of lose my mind and lose my sanity, and you guys saw the screenshots in the community post. So yeah, but I hope you guys enjoy, and it all went away, thank God. Alright, before we get started, I'm just gonna warn you, I'm sorry if I sound like I'm out of breath or if I start breathing heavily. It's just that I'm trying my hardest to whisper as much as I can because I don't want to wake my mom up, and yeah. Take a sip of this coffee. So before we get started, I'm just going to say that there's going to be two versions of this video. Okay, I know there would be two types of Leo. There would be number one, he'd be brave enough, of course he is brave enough to ask you out on a date, which is this one. Then we'd have the one where you would ask him on a date and he'd be super shy, kind of like Donnie. So let's get this started. So it's been a while since you and Leo have known each other. You two have been close and etc. You've been thinking about Leo in more than just a friend way, but you've been scared to ask him out or tell him how you feel. So, afraid that you would lose such a good friend like him, you kept your mouth shut. One day, Leo came up to you and asked, "Hey, listener, can I talk to you for a moment?" I'm sorry that I didn't do his voice, it's just that it's the story. There's no, voice just yet, but I will add voices. Just 1 second. Take a sip of this coffee. And he said, "Hey, listener, could I maybe talk to you for a second?" You thought to yourself, as you had a little bit of light pink blush across your face, is he really going to ask me out? Is this it? Is he maybe going to confess? No, don't think too hard, listener. Maybe it's just something about the mission. Don't get lightheaded, let's say it like that. So he pulled you over into a corner in the lair and said, "Okay, you got this, Leo. You got this." It's almost like talking to Karai. Why would I bring up Karai? He was talking underneath his breath. You chuckled and said, "Go on, Leo. It's okay. I'm all ears." He smiled at your comment and said, okay, so, listener, you know how we've known each other for a while now, right? I think you guys are already dating. I don't know. I forgot. I'm like really bad with memory, so let's just say you guys were already dating. I don't know. You know how we've been dating for a while now, right? He tilted his head slightly and he nodded. Well, he kind of did the shy finger thing. I was willing to ask you out on a date with me. He looked away a little bit. You smiled and said, of course, Leo. Why wouldn't I do that? Aren't I your little sailor? You booped his quote-unquote nose. He chuckled and said, yeah, I just forgot. It's kind of been a while and you've been away doing college and work, and sometimes I sort of forget to text you on the T-phone. So yeah, it's gotten a little bit weird getting used to dating again. If that didn't sound rude at all. He looked away once again. You chuckled and said, no, that didn't sound rude at all, even though to another person it would have been. But I know how you feel. I've been away for a while and we can do like lovey-dovey romantic things that couples do, I guess, and you've been away from me. He sighed and said, yeah, but was that a yes? His little tail would start to wag. Of course. Come on. Well, when is it though? How about tomorrow at Central Park underneath the cherry blossoms? If that's fine. You smiled and said, of course. And I didn't know Central Park has cherry blossoms. He said, yeah, I've been sneaking around, you know. When Raph or Mikey or Donnie goes out, I'd ask to go with them, and I snuck into Central Park and started to look around. You smiled softly at him once more. Well, I'm glad to know. I'll see you tomorrow at what time? How about 7 p.m.? Sounds great. I'll see you there, little blueberry. You booped his quote-unquote nose once again, his tail wagging a little faster, and said, well, I'll see you there too, sailor. He put his swords away, and Mikey looked at him while kneeling on the couch, you know, kind of both of his knees on the couch while looking back at him. And he quote-unquote raised a brow and said, ooh. Leo sighed and said, Mikey, you heard the conversation, didn't you? Of course I did, dude. Going on a date with your partner. Oh, shush, Mikey. If you had a chance to go on a date with Ice Cream Kitty, you would. He chuckled and threw a pillow at his face. Ouch, dude. That isn't fair. Ice Cream Kitty next to him meowed. And Mikey looked down at Ice Cream Kitty and said, oh, shush, you don't know anything. Take a sip of this coffee. I don't know why you made so much coffee. Oh my god. It was the next day. Like, Mikey wouldn't stop bothering Leo about the date and asking if he could take pictures and stuff like that because he wanted to add it to the family album. Of course, he asked Splinter if he had permission, and Splinter approved, since Splinter had given you and him his approval to date and given you guys his blessing as a partner thing, not as a marriage thing just yet. Leo was getting ready and polishing his katanas. Mikey came in and sat down next to him and said, "So, how's the polishing going?" "Mikey, if you're here to ask about the date, you already know I told you that I would do everything." He gave him a side eye. "No, I'm not here to ask about that. Well, maybe a little bit. But how did you get yourself into this, dude? Into this tangled up situation? I thought Donnie would be the first one to get a girlfriend. Well, not really girlfriend, but partner." Leo chuckled. "Well, love comes for all, and love has its different shapes, sizes, and timings. And looks like my time has come. Not that I'm going to be away from you guys, but love comes for all. Maybe one day, you, little brother, will find the love of your life." He booped Mikey's quote-unquote nose. "Bleh, I don't think so. Even though I think and dream sometimes that, yes, I will find my true love and have a true love's kiss, but then Raph just has to ruin it and say that love at first sight isn't real." Raph, from the other side, also polishing his thigh, says, "Love at first sight isn't real, Mikey. You gotta stop being dumb and reading those stupid magazines." Leo would sigh and yell back at Raph, "Love at first sight is real, Raph. You just gotta believe." "I'm not believing in shit," Raph said back. Mikey chuckled and gave Leo a little head pat before heading back to his room. Leo got done polishing his swords and he saw that he had a little gift underneath his bed that he never saw before. It was probably left over yesterday. It said, "From listener to Leo," with a little heart. He had a little bit of red blush across his face underneath his mask. And as he opened it, it was like a little blue box with a dark blue bow. He opened it and it was this blue hoodie that had a scent of, let's think about what kind of flower Leo would like. Would he like orchids? I think Leo would like orchids. They're cute. A little bit of scent of honey, lavender, orchids, and voila, blueberries. He gave it a little sniff and he loved it. He snuggled it and hugged it and smothered it. Mikey came around once again and said, "Like the gift?" Of course, Leo was startled and gave a little jump and said, "Mikey, knock please, or at least tell me you're here," which is just what you did, but at least say something. "I'll be going in a few minutes, just let me put this on real quick." His voice would have softened and as he looked down at the hoodie you had given him. He smiled down at it like it was just something so precious that he had for years. Like imagine having like a little cherry blossom tree for years that you've been taking care of, and every time you look at it you just smile and give it that like soft look like it's something so precious. Take a sip of this coffee. Anyways, Leo would have gotten ready. He didn't really wear a disguise because he felt like he could just go into the open world and didn't care what others think. If they gave him weird looks or called the police, that was on them. He could escape, and he already knew how to do a little bit of parkour, so he could just take you with him. You two met down at Central Park, right underneath the cherry blossoms. Everything was already set up by, well, okay, I'm just gonna say this. I have my own version of April, which I will leak to you guys. A picture of her that I drew like a long time ago. I am going to have to do a redesign, but I do have my own April, it's not like, you know, the normal April. Leo had talked to April and Casey on setting up the little picnic at Central Park underneath the cherry blossom. They both agreed, even though Casey was whining and saying, "Why did I have to be picked for all this lovey-dovey shit?" But then, how do you say it? April gave him a nudge and said, "Come on, it's for Leo and their partner and blah blah blah. Don't be jealous." Once you got there, you were all cozied up, all pretty / handsome, cute, gorgeous. Leo had his whole face, including his mask, where it looked just all red, because he'd never seen you so let's say, like in your own style. And he gave him a soft smile and said, "Hey Leo, I really like what you did here. And, you okay?" Before you could say something else, you'd ask him if he was fine. Leo would have snapped out of his daydreaming and said, Yeah, I'm fine. Take a seat." You two had a nice and delightful cup of tea and started talking, and as you looked at the view. Sorry, I got scared and I heard like the door open and I thought it was my door. But anyways, after a while, Leo held your hand and you held onto his. Then he got your other hand and you two held both of each other's hands. You were confused, but you just smiled at him and went along. Leo's heart was racing, skipping beats, and he didn't really know what to do. But he took a deep breath and put his forehead on yours. Let's say it's kind of a cultural thing. I mean, I do have a friend, or used to have a friend from elementary, that before she'd leave her sister in class, they would like touch foreheads together and kind of do a little rub, and then she'd say, "I love you" and "have a good day" and stuff like that. Let's say Leo did that and he said, "I love you, little sailor, forever and always, and to eternity and forever, until the afterlife." He closed his eyes and gave your nose a smooch, going back to the same position he was, touching foreheads. You blushed and said you loved him too, and yada yada. Leo did his little mop thing, like mop, and stuck his tongue out, and you tilted your head while you were still touching foreheads and said, "Mop, bloop." You stuck your tongue out playfully. He chuckled and laughed a little bit and said, "Well, that's how I'm gonna say I love you to you now. Mop." He said jokingly, and you replied with, "Oh, I wouldn't mind saying mop as I love you. Nobody would know what we're saying." He turned into a whole tomato again. You chuckled and cupped his face gently before giving him a small peck on the lips. Mwah. Well, Leo, this has been a great day, but I have a few things to do at home, like chores and tasks. I'll see you tomorrow for training, or maybe we could hang out, eat some pizza. Yeah. We don't have to have training tomorrow. You've been being a little too rough on yourself. Let's just hang out, you know. I'll see you next time, listener. I love you, okay? You nodded and went on to your house. Meanwhile, Leo headed back to the lair and plopped on his bed, like, you know those little strings that you pull and it closes the whole face to the hoodie? That's what he did, and he was just like panic. And Mikey looked over at him and said, "Dude, you look like you're lovesick in a good way, not like lovesick like Donnie." "I heard that," Donnie said from the other way. I didn't say anything, Mikey replied. Leo just covered his face, muffling a whole bunch of words and nonsense. Mikey just walked out with a look like he's gone crazy. And Leo just, had a little bit of love panic. And that's all for today, guys. Take a sip of this coffee. And that's all for today, guys. I hope you guys enjoy. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. We're going to go to 6K this time. I hope we can get there before 2024 or in 2024 maybe New Year's, who knows. I mean, we're still technically in March is already almost over, but I hope we can get there. We're going into April already, literally April. My Instagram, Discord links over wattpad, SoundCloud, and the songs that I use will be all in the description below. I'll be editing this video. Don't get yourselves into trouble. I hope you guys have a good night and a good sleep, or maybe a good morning, afternoon, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.